Welcome back. Today we're reading Chapter 4, Popeye, in Deep Sea Danger. I'm so glad you could join me today. Chapter 4, What Goes There? They all stared in silent disbelief at the photo Sweet Pea thrust toward them. In the picture of the fog, they could see a dark shape outlined. The more they studied it, the more they agreed that, although badly blurred, as if it had moved, it was the long-necked shape of a sea monster. It was almost a double of the one in Sweet Pea's book. "Is that what picked me up?" gasped Olive. "Maybe it's just a blurry fog shadow," suggested Wimpy, idly munching on a roll. "No," Findham said. "It appears too solid to be a shadow or any trick of light. This could mean that the old sea tales were true. What luck to have found the sea creature." "Don't billow your sails so fast," warned Popeye. "It wasn't no sea monster, but just some crazy fog shadow. Monsters don't exist." Before he could finish his sentence, they all felt the ship rise up and tremble. They were thrown off balance and flopped onto the deck. Something had lifted the ship up, something that was strong enough to have yanked the heavy anchor from the sea floor. "The sea monster," observed Wimpy between bites. Professor Findham hurried below to check the sonar, the electronic device that bounces sound waves off objects beneath the water. It quickly revealed what lay below. "Oh, not a sea monster," Findham sighed. "We drifted while anchored and ran aground on a sandbar." Popeye agreed with Professor Findham. He had run up on sandbars before and knew what had to be done. But first, he made an emergency stop in the galley. There, he opened a can and gobbled up its leafy green contents. "Now that I've had some spinach," Popeye said as he leaped into the lifeboat, "I'll tow us off this sandbar." Popeye began pulling on the lifeboat's oars with his spinach-strengthened arms, and he soon felt the schooner slide free. He kept rowing toward deep water, where the chart indicated they would be safe. "What's this?" Popeye gulped. The lifeboat was rising out of the water. "No sandbars can be under me out here. What's—" But before he could look down to see if his lifeboat was rising on the back of some sea creature, the small boat began to settle back into the water. Under the boat was the submarine. Through its periscope, Dr. Stare peered over the lifeboat's railing at Popeye's back. "Take us down," he ordered. Quickly, Grumbler worked the controls and the sub sank into the murky depths. Moments later, Popeye told Findham of his strange experience. Then the professor began another sonar scan. Something's moving under us, Findham called excitedly. Now, the ink pen attached to the sensitive sonar machine began to outline the object. The sound waves were striking below the schooner. It's the sea monster, Olive concluded, as she saw the start of a curved shape being drawn. Not unless the creature is shaped like a submarine, Findham contradicted her. Bilgewater, what would a sub be doing in these parts so near the reef and us? Asked a puzzled Popeye. The form moved slowly away. Then right off the sonar screen. But looking at the drawing again, they all had to agree. The object below had been shaped like a submarine. I'm going down there in my scuba gear, Popeye said. Something isn't ship-shaped below us, and I'm going to find out what, sea critter or not. Beneath the surface, the sub idled, holding almost stationary. Bet we gave that muscle-bound sea dog a scare when we came up under him, laughed Grumbler. Luckily, he didn't spot us. Oh, they'll get to see us, Grumbler smirked. Right after they find the sea monster. If they find any such thing, protested a doubtful Dr. Stare. The automatic sonar alarm was ringing, warning that some underwater object was approaching their sub. The alarm was designed to sound only when an underwater object of at least 6 feet in length began nearing their submerged craft. Could be a big fish, Stare guessed. I'll check, responded Grumbler, and he put his eye to the periscope and began to turn it slowly. Whatever it is, Stare called excitedly. Sonar shows it's closing in fast. I see water being stirred up like mad, replied Grumbler. Hey! Grumbler jerked his head back from the periscope eyepiece. What was that? Asked Stare. Why aren't you still checking? Suddenly, it all went black. Grumbler whispered, a tremor of fear in his voice. Something broke off our periscope. That scope is heavy. It'd take something very powerful to snap it off. Powerful? Whispered Dr. Stare. Like a sea monster? That's the end of Chapter 4. Please join me next time when I read Chapter 5. A hamburger thief. Oh boy. That should prove to be interesting. Thanks for joining me today. We'll see you next time for Chapter 5. Popeye in deep sea danger.